Good day, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to my home in Livingston, Montana. Boy, I tell you, folks, and I'm not trying to be irritable or whatever here, but I sure been fielding a lot of questions about the state of Montana, moving here, our working situation, and stuff like that. Let me tell you a little story before I get started in here. Here about 10, 12 years ago, I come up with this brainy idea. I was going to go out and buy me one of these large capacity vans, passenger vans, one of these 9-passenger vans, and start me a guide service. Not for hunting, not for fishing, just to take people around, to take people to places I know that are off the beaten path. I thought that would be a really good thing to do. Well, but I had everybody and their dog around me saying, "Oh God, Jim, don't do that. The insurance is going to eat you up and the vehicle's going to cost you $1 million." Man, I'm going to tell you folks something. I'm serious here. If you've got a dream, if you've got what you know is a good idea, don't let these dream stealers come along, or these bubble bursters, or these kind of people, and say you can't do something. But anyway, the reason why I burst into this conversation, or burst into this dialogue here, if you will, this narrative, like they say in this day and age, is because, like I say, I get a lot of people asking me about the state of Montana and everything. I wish I had kind of started me a small guide service. But okay, now I got that off my chest. I got a young fellow by the name of Cody. His last name begins with a W. You know who you are, Cody. He's 20 years old, and he wrote me an email, and he's moving to Montana in June of this year. And he had some viable questions that I'm going to try to answer here if I can. And Cody, pay attention, son. I'm old and I'm crabby. I don't like repeating myself, but it seems like that's where I end up doing a lot. Okay. Like I say, 20 years old, moving here from West Virginia, and of course, I'm leaving a lot of stuff out because, his communication to me was in an email, and there's some points I don't need to be broadcast in this video, if you will. But he had 3 major questions I'll try to answer. Okay, he wants to know how difficult is it to find a job in western Montana. Here it is. I give this a lot of thought, Cody, before I turn this miserable camera of mine on. Here it is, Cody, my man. Finding work in western Montana is directly related to your determination. I really do hope you catch that. It's directly related to how determined you are to live and how big a desire that you have, or drive, or ambition to live in the state of Montana. Directly related to that. I'm going to tell you a real quick story here, Cody. Way back in 1990, I said, I was living down in southern Idaho and hating life. Hating my job. The job that I was working at was going down the toilet. I mean, I was going to be out of work, and I knew it. I don't want to get into that. I'll be here all day. But I made the heroic decision to come up here to Montana. I left my family down there in southern Idaho. I came up to Montana to look for work. I remember it was Labor Day, the 1st of September of 1990. I come barreling up here to Montana. All I had was a pickup and a camper. And boy, believe you me, I'm glad I had that camper, because I ended up living out of that camper for doggone near a month before I found work. A month, Cody, are you hearing me? And I was looking for work every single day of the year. So, I hope that answers your question, because I can't... work is... Okay, in the state of Montana, work is where you find it, basically speaking, Cody, okay? So, anyway, let me move along here. Question number 2. What are some towns that you might be able to find work in? Cody wants to know what towns, and I'm sure other people have these same questions. That's why I'm doing this video. Look, it's just like what I said. Work is where you find it. So you can find work in a town that's only got like 1,000 people in it. It's a possibility. But as a general rule, I'm going to say concentrate on cities, towns in Montana that are 5,000 plus population plus. You're a little bit safer that way, okay? You take like a small example here. Let me give you a small example. Livingston, Montana is a city of 7,000 people approximately, but yet we've got this fancy place. I've done YouTube videos on it. We've got this fancy resort that sets 28 miles due south of Livingston, up again the Absaroka Mountains, called Chico Hot Springs. And there's nothing out there. You got a small town called Prey, Montana, which is about 50 people. That's anywhere near Chico Hot Springs, but yet Chico employs about 100 people or so. Wait staff and the cook staff and the maintenance and all that. It's a big layout out there. I've done a YouTube video on Chico Hot Springs, okay? So that's a perfect example. Work is where you find it in the state of Montana. Okay, number 3. What are some industries that are growing in Montana? That's hard to say. Cody, I know that construction, not here in Paradise Valley so much, but I guarantee you, like over there in Bozeman, Montana, that's Gallatin County. This is Park County, okay? All these places in Montana are named by counties or valleys. You'll find that out. But you take like over there in Bozeman, Gallatin County, for example, Gallatin Valley, if you will. Man, almost everywhere you go, up and down from the west side of Bozeman to the east side, to the north, to the south, everywhere you look, they're building like little beavers over there. They're trying to turn Bozeman, Montana into another Jackson crap hole, Wyoming. That's what my son-in-law told me. He lives in Belgrade, Montana, right there. That's a small city that's beside Bozeman, only 8 miles to the west of Bozeman. My son-in-law, he shoots. Okay, he's in the construction business, but he's in business for himself. He's in the concrete business, and he sets points. He's the first guy that's got to be on a job site on a new build. He finds level. You can't stop and think about this, ladies and gentlemen. You can't build unless you know where level is. Oh, you can build all right if you want to pour concrete that on an angle like that. You're wasting a lot of money. You gotta find level. Okay. My son-in-law has been doing this for a long time. Been in the concrete. You know what he charges? He charges $100 an hour and gets it too. Because he's only on them job sites for like an hour and a half, 2 hours at the very most, and he's gone. Once he sets points, finds level for the general contractor, he's out of there. So, Cody, what I'm trying to say, my man, you could wind up doing anything in the state of Montana. Construction, working in the motel, the hospital, they call it hospitality business. It's hard for me to say because I'm retired and I'm really out of the working world. But I just know one thing. When it comes to working in the state of Montana, you got to hustle. But here's one piece of advice I can give, anybody that wants to move. If you want to look at the job picture, look up this URL. This is to the Montana Job Service, the unemployment office. It's https // MontanaWorks, WORKS, all together now, .gov. Just, take a peek there, Cody, and see what you find, But one of the biggest problems in the state of Montana is housing. I mean, everybody and their dog wants to come up here, and these freaking land developers, these real estate people and all this, they all know it. Like you take like the rent right here in Livingston, the average rent is going, and this is, I'm trying not to over exaggerate with this figure, but the rent here is $1,000 a month, approximately. I find that absolutely ridiculous. I mean, okay, you take like the average home here in Livingston, Montana. If just your average home, about 1,500 square foot, relatively small lot, you're going to pay $250,000, $250,000. Now I know some of you folks out there going, "Well, by God, it's more than that here where I live," and blah blah blah. Well, okay, fine, wonderful, but that ain't Montana. You know, back when I was a young buck, of course, I realized that was then, not now. You could have bought a whole friggin' ranch for, say, $200,000 or $300,000. Yeah, it's just the cost of living and the cost of land and the cost of houses here in Montana. It's ridiculous, redonkulous. You take like over in Bozeman, over in Gallatin County over there, Gallatin Valley. To get into any kind of a house over there, you're talking $350,000. I find that completely ridiculous. And it's all because these rich land developers and people with money come up here and start buying up the state of Montana. This crap started going on in the 1960s and it ain't never stopped. It blows me away because I know that there's a lot of people out there like Cody now. Anybody that's looking in there, there's a lot of people that come to the state of Montana, that want to come to the state of Montana, but really find out that this place, yes, Montana's beautiful, efficient, all this other kind of stuff, but when it comes down to, because these worthless jobs that they have around here don't match what it's going to cost you to rent a place or buy a place. That's the biggest problem. Boy, I hope I don't have to make too many more of these speeches, but it's the truth. The wages just simply don't match the housing, but it depends on what kind of work you get into. The construction work pays pretty good and different things like this. So, Cody, I got news for you, bro. About all I can tell you to do is hustle, hustle, hustle. When it comes to moving here in the state of Montana, if you want to live here bad enough. Okay, that's really about all I've got to say. Montana's a remote state. We've got essentially about a million people that live here, right around there, a little bit less maybe. And yet it's the fourth biggest state in the union. Montana's not very populated, but these rich people, these yuppies, these movie stars, these people with a lot of money have made it real hard for somebody like Cody W. to move in here, But I hope this helped you, Cody. This is one of these real frustrating type videos because I just really don't have concrete. I wish, Cody, I could say, look, I got a job for you. I got a place for you to stay and all that, but I can't. You got to hustle, my man. Okay, that's enough. Thank you, folks, for listening to my jabber, and we'll see you on down the trail. Take care of yourselves.